discussing the Twice solo mini albums. So I started scripting this video before the new album was even announced and before the news of Chaeyoung's solo debut. The information in this video is already outdated, so I'll pop in every so often to add additional info where it's needed. In the time since I started writing this, some of the girls have released OSTs for different projects, including K-pop Demon Hunters, click the iCard for my video on that, Nyion did 2 other songs, etc. That's not even counting the solo songs we're getting with the new album. Needless to say, this video is all in good fun and meant to be just my thoughts on the solos we do have. It's no secret, if you follow me, you know I love Twice. I've even been fortunate enough to see them twice, pun intended, and I'm hoping to make it 3 for 3. One of the aspects I loved about their previous tour, Ready to Be, was their individual solo stages. These performances allowed the girls to showcase a different side to them, with the exception of Nyion, because she performed Pop, and Jihyo, who performed Nightmare at the Atlanta show. The rest of the girls performed covers of popular songs, with the exception of Chaeyoung, who performed an original one. These performances intrigued me a lot, because of just how different they were from both each other and the general Twice soundscape. Then the question popped into my head. What would Twice solos be like? I've thought about this for a while, and as of now in 2025, for a third of them, we don't have to imagine, because Nyion, Jihyo, and Chewy have all debuted as soloists. We also have solos for Mina, Sana, and Momo on their second mini-album as Misamo, and now all of them are getting solos for their upcoming album. I've reacted to all of them, except Nyon's debut mini, on the channel. So to get started, this video is going to be divided up in a few sections. First, I want to revisit the solos we do have and give my thoughts and opinions now that they've been out for a while. Second, I would like to explore what the other member solos could sound like or be about. Third, give my unsolicited thoughts about the potential success of these solos and go a bit more in depth about certain comments I've seen floating around. And lastly, conclude with my general thoughts about everything. Okay, current me jumping back in. So I've decided to split this video in 2 so I can have a chance at uploading this before the new album drops. But in this video, we're going to be discussing the 4 solo minis that we do have and my thoughts on them. Then next week, we're going to be discussing potential solos for the rest of the girls and doing everything else I said we were going to do before. So let's jump in. Starting off with our center and face of the group, the eldest member and first to debut, Nyion. Actually, before I continue this video, I want to acknowledge the imbalance when it comes to solo releases among the girls. Nyion has 2 mini albums totaling 14 songs, and if you include the extended version of ABCD, her Moana soundtrack feature, and the OST she shares with Jihyo, Chewy, and Chaeyoung, we are left with 17 songs. 19 if you add the 2 newest ones. Jihyo has 1 mini totaling 7 songs, plus an English version of Killing Me Good. Besides her shared OST with the girls, she has 4 other OSTs, a special single for Inkigayo Music Crush, rounding her out to 14 songs. I already added Marry My Husband to the OST total, but it would be 15 songs if we count Takedown from K-pop Demon Hunters. In contrast, Chewy has 1 mini album with 6 songs, no additional versions of the title track, plus the OST, bringing her to a total of 7 songs. That's quite a weird amount considering that both Nyion and Jihyo's minis total 7 songs each. Regardless of Chewy getting 1 less track and sharing an OST, she doesn't have any other releases to her name. I mean, I don't pretend that this comparison is fair. There was a whole 2 years between Nyon's mini albums, and the other 2 just have 1 debut project out. But Jihyo still has other songs. This discrepancy with Chewy is something I'll dive into a little bit later, but besides these 3, you know who doesn't have a debut project? Everyone else. Until the last quarter. Sana has quote-unquote the most amount of releases, with 1 cover released in Japanese and her solo song Mirage totaling 2 songs. 4 if you count that the cover was released twice, and with an a cappella version. Jungyoung has an artist page featuring an OST and a cover of Oh Christmas Tree, plus Takedown. Chaeyoung also has an artist page that features the previously mentioned OST and, at least on her Apple Music, a weird release titled Popstar Chaeyoung Remix. I don't know if it's an official release since I haven't heard it, but add Takedown to her count as well. Dahyun just technically got an artist page because she released an OST for her recent acting project, leaving Nina and Momo without artist pages but with solo songs on the Misamo second mini album, Misty and Money in My Pocket respectively. But where were we? Nyion. Starting us off strong with the Twice member with the largest discography, thanks in part to her being the first to release a solo project. Debuting on June 24th, 2022, Nyion came out the gate swinging with her massive debut hit Pop. With over 236 million views on YouTube and over 352 million streams on Spotify alone, it's safe to say our beautiful bunny had one successful debut, setting the bar high. Talking more about the song, I really love Pop. It's bright, catchy, and never fails to cheer me up and put a smile on my face. It's definitely a feel-good spring/summer song for me. Given it was the first release of any of the girls, it also holds a special place in my heart. And she also got a total of 5 music show wins for it, so I can see how other people also love it. However, there are times where I will skip the song if I'm not feeling overly happy or don't want to hear the repeating post-chorus of pop pop pop, pop pop pop. Imagine I'm doing the dance. Getting the stats out of the way, it sold a total of over 555,000 copies in Korea. And directly quoting the Nyion K-pop fandom wiki, IM NAYEON debuted at number 7 on the Billboard 200 chart, making her the first K-pop soloist to enter the top 10. In the first week of its release, it reached 57,000 equivalent album units. The album debuted at number 1 on Billboard's top album sales chart. It also debuted at number 7 on Billboard's Tastemaker albums chart. The song Pop debuted at number 7 and No Problem debuted at number 10 on the Billboard World Digital Song Sales chart. Pop also debuted on the Billboard Global excluding US chart at number 7. Nyion is the first K-pop soloist to spend 5 weeks on the Billboard 200 chart with IM NAYEON. About the album, appropriately titled IM NAYEON. I don't have as many favorable things to say. Out of 7 songs, I like 4.5. No Problem, Love Countdown, Sunset, and sometimes All or Nothing. And 2 of those, the features, 9 times out of 10 get skipped. The only song I'll usually leave on is Sunset. I love how chill and easy to listen to it is. It also helps that it sounds beautiful. Candy Floss and Happy Birthday to You just don't get played. I just don't really like the songs. Speaking about the album as a whole, if I were to describe it in one word, I'd say it's pretty underwhelming. I've never found myself wanting to listen to it or seeking it out. That could be because I didn't listen to this upon its release. When this came out, I was kind of on a hiatus of making both videos and just listening to new releases because I wanted to make videos on them, so I just never got around to it. However, that doesn't take away the significance of it in Twice's history. I could go on and on about this, and if that's something you'd like, let me know in the comments. Because of this, I would rate this album a 6.5 out of 10. Ouch, that hurt to say, but I have to be brutally honest. Moving on to her first comeback with Na, we have a different story. After almost 2 years, on June 14th, 2024, Nyion came back with her second mini album, Na, with title track ABCD. This song was amazing to me. I couldn't get enough of it. It has 62 million views on YouTube and over 123 million streams on Spotify. And that's kind of funny, you know, ABCD, 1, 2, 3. Oh, I just gave you ASMR tingles. And it got her 2 music show wins. Anyways, needless to say, it wasn't as popular, but it hasn't had as much time as Pop has. About the song, I think it's great. My only gripe is that I think it's too short, but the MV/extended version fixes that, so all is well. The way she sings this song is just so satisfying to me. I don't know, but I literally had it on repeat for weeks, maybe months when it came out. Talking again about stats, it sold over 450,000 units in Korea, and it once again debuted at number 1 on Billboard's top album sales chart. It also debuted at number 7 on Billboard's top 200 albums chart and stayed there for 2 consecutive weeks. Let's dive into this album. I love it. To me, it has stood the test of time. The only song I have a slight issue with, if I'm nitpicking, would be Heaven featuring Sam Kim. The "It's Been Too Long" bit and his rap are a bit off to me. But that doesn't stop me from enjoying it though. The rest of the songs have crack in them, I swear. From Butterflies to Count It, they're all bangers. And regardless of current opinions, whether valid or not, The way Julie says, bam, alakazam, scratches my brain like nothing else. The song selection is varied, and I can see why each song both has and deserves its spot on this album. So I think the more mature sound and root truly benefited her. To me, this album is a solid 9.8 out of 10. I won't get into the OSTs because we'd be here forever. Now, as for Jihyo and Chewy, it's gonna be a little quicker. Debuting on August 18th, 2023 with her first mini album titled Zone, Jihyo burst out with a more mature sound in title track Killing Me Good. It currently sits at just over 32 million views on YouTube and 96 million streams on Spotify. It's unfortunately easy to see it wasn't as successful as Nyon's solo endeavors. However, talking about the song, to me, it's a different story. Killing Me Good is groovy, mature, and unapologetically Jihyo. The song really fits her jazzy tone and I love it. Even though I don't listen to it as often, it's still great. Talking about stats, Zone sold a total of 534,565 copies in its first week, according to the Hanteo chart, thus making Jihyo the third female soloist to surpass 500,000 sales in its first week. In total, it sold just over 638,000 units to date. And Killing Me Good got her one music show win on Music Bank. Directly quoting the Jihyo K-pop fandom wiki, Zone debuted at number 14 on the Billboard 200 chart and spent 2 consecutive weeks on the chart. It also debuted at number 3 on the Billboard World Albums chart and at number 4 on the Billboard Top Album Sales chart and the Billboard Top Current Album Sales chart. Killing Me Good debuted at number 11 on the Billboard World Digital Song Sales chart and number 127 on the Billboard Global excluding US chart and 193 on the Billboard Global 200 chart. Oh my god, that's such a mouthful. Let's talk about the songs though. The mini album is 7 songs long and it's great. The standout tracks for me are definitely the title, Closer, and Wishing on You. Oh my god, Closer. It's sexy, sultry, mysterious, and I can't help but dance and picture her in this specific outfit. The fact she performed this in Latin America makes me truly jealous. Please come to Puerto Rico twice, please. Wishing on You is also everything I said about Closer, just not as Latina. The rest of the songs are awesome. To me, I can really feel the thought and energy that was put into this album. Time to talk about Chewy. She debuted on September 6, 2024 with her debut mini album AbouTZU, accompanied by title track Runaway. The video currently sits at just over 18 million views on YouTube and it has over 36 million streams on Spotify. If you're noticing a trend, this one didn't do as good as the other releases either. Unfortunately, I can see why. To me, this album just isn't as good. If you saw my reaction video, you'd know I wasn't fond on first listen, and I'm still not. The title track is okay. Putting my bias aside, I feel like so much could have been done, yet we got this. The B-side tracks don't help at all. I feel like a different sound would have suited her much better. If the solo songs we got as promo for the This Is 4 album would have been her debut or hell, even a B-side, I'd be singing a different tune, and so would she. I don't want my dislike for this album to be misinterpreted as hate. Even though she is one of my least favorites, I still love her and the rest of the girls. But I can't lie and say I wasn't expecting something on par with Nyion and Jihyo when I was. Maybe I set myself up for failure, but I still thought we would get something better. I know there's been a lot of comments regarding whether or not this was needed, and I don't usually want to feed into this type of comment, but I can't help but see where they're coming from. I'll discuss this and other topics in my next video, but closing off, I was genuinely disappointed in this release. Because this video is being cut for time so I can attempt to post this before the album release, in my next video I will go over albums for the other members, the specific comments that I was talking about, and anything else that might come up and intertwine with these topics. Besides that, I will see you guys tomorrow, hopefully, with a very, very special reaction video to their new album. So, getting my general outro out of the way, Thank you guys so very much for watching this video. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Click that bell icon so you're notified every time I post a video. Tell me in the comments down below, what did you think about their albums? I know that for 2 of them, I did not have as much nice things to say, and I understand if you guys don't necessarily agree. That's completely fine. Just keep it respectful. But yeah, remember that I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys tomorrow with a reaction to the new album. I can't wait. Bye!